Friends, distinguished guests, and honored participants, welcome to Greeley's 2026 State of the City Address. We're delighted to have you here with us this evening as we reflect on the city's 2025 accomplishments, discover what lies ahead, and celebrate Greeley's 140th birthday. To honor our nation, please rise if you're able and remove your hats for the presentation of the colors by the Northridge High School Marine Corps Junior ROTC Color Guard and the Pledge of Allegiance. The Color Guard is commanded by Cadet First Lieutenant Marcos Morales, with Color Guard members Cadet Corporal Crystalline McClure, Cadet Private First Class Jesse Fox, Cadet Private First Class Antonio Morales. Please remain standing afterwards for the national anthem performed by Frontier Academy Honors Choir, directed by Angela Slaughter, and until the colors have been retired. Please join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you again for being here tonight as we celebrate Greeley's 2025 accomplishments and the city's 140th birthday. Please help me welcome Acting City Manager Brian McBroom to the stage.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Greeley's 2026 State of the City event. We are so happy to have you here tonight. The State of the City is our chance to look back at what we accomplished together in 2025 and look ahead to the work and opportunities in 2026. This year is especially meaningful as we celebrate Greeley's 140th birthday. Officially incorporated on April 6, 1886, Greeley has a legacy that continues to shape our community and guides where we go next. Tonight's address includes 5 city leaders to help share our accomplishments. These individuals are living and breathing these projects every day. We wanted tonight to feel more like a conversation with those doing the work rather than a long lecture about the work itself. And the engagement doesn't stop when this portion of the event concludes. As you've seen out in the lobby, after our program, we invite you to stop by the booths outside the performance hall to explore and connect further. We hope you will talk with staff, ask questions, engage with your fellow citizens. This evening is about conversation and connection within the Greeley community. All right, let's get things started. It's my pleasure to introduce Mayor Dale Hall. Mayor Dale Hall is serving his first term as Greeley's mayor, but his service to the community began long before taking on this important role. A Greeley resident for 60 years, he brings a long view of the community and a deep understanding of how it has grown and changed over time. For nearly 19 years, he has dedicated himself to public service, including 7 years on Greeley's City Council, while helping lead important conversations that have shaped Greeley's future, especially around topics important to him, including housing, managing growth, and community development. His record of service also includes work with organizations and boards that have helped play an important role in our city and region, including the Greeley Housing Authority, the Greeley Planning Commission, the Greeley Airport Authority, the Colorado Aeronautical Board, and the Poudre River Trail Board. That public service is backed by more than 30 years in the financial investment business and over 35 years of experience owning and managing real estate, giving him a strong understanding of both economic development and the needs of a growing community. It is my pleasure to welcome your mayor, Dale Hall.
Thank you, Brian, and thank you, Greeley, for being here tonight. It's my pleasure to be here and officially kick off tonight's celebration. In just a few moments, we'll hear directly from the people leading the work and shaping it in real time. I'm excited for the conversations ahead and the perspectives that they share. Before we dive in, I want to help set the stage for everyone here tonight. Greeley's strength has always come from its people. I am humbled every day watching the ways this community comes together, supports one another, and works together to build a thriving community. While we may disagree at times, it comes from a place of caring deeply about Greeley, and that matters. As your mayor, I'm grateful for the faith you placed in your city staff and city council, and for the chance to work alongside leaders who show up every day with commitment and heart. I want to take a moment to introduce you to some of those leaders. Your city council. These individuals listen to residents and help guide the direction of our city. Council members, please stand and be recognized as I call out your name. Melissa McDonald, Mayor Pro Tem at Large. Deb DeBeauty, Ward 2. Johnny Olson, Ward 3. And Brian Rudy, Ward 4. And Ryan Roth, also at large. And I want to take this moment to recognize former council member Tommy Butler, who stepped down from his council seat March 17th to run for the Colorado House District 50 seat. Council will be filling his seat here soon in May. Tommy served as a council member of Ward 1 for 6 years. His passion for his community and his commitment to the thoughtful, respectful dialogue are what make a council and a community strong. It's been an honor to work alongside him, and best of luck, Tommy. I also want to recognize our valued community partners, and I've been given a cheat sheet here so that I hopefully don't miss anybody. But first off, I have to recognize our UNC president, Andy Feinstein, for allowing us to have this opportunity to be here tonight. Thank you, Andy. And I'm just going to read off a few of the names and organizations here. We have a representative from Senator Robert Rodriguez. We have Weld County Commissioners. Wave or something, that'd be great. Thank you. Former Mayor John Gates. Representatives from the DDA, the Downtown Development Authority. The Chamber of Commerce. District 6. Richmark Property Managers. And Weld County Airport. And Sunrise Community Center. And Leprino. Thank you all. Thank you all for coming. This includes our business partners, community organizations, investors, developers, civic partners, and many individuals and groups who help move Greeley onward. Your support and dedication play a crucial role in our efforts and initiatives. We appreciate your presence and participation, and we encourage everyone to connect with them after the program. Finally, to the hard-working public servants who deliver city services every day, working behind the scenes to repair roads, share information, maintain our parks, and build relationships. Thank you. If you are a city employee, please stand up right now and be recognized. Thank you all for being here. Please know we value your support and are grateful you're here. I am honored to serve alongside each of you as we guide Greeley into its next chapter. As we look ahead, one of the most important questions has been who will lead our organization as city manager in the future. City Council conducted a nationwide service earlier this year and spent time carefully considering candidates for the role. About a month ago, after thoughtful discussion, we made the decision to pause the city manager hiring process and not move forward with the current candidate pool. This decision allowed us to stay focused on several important priorities already underway. City Council has reposted that position on Friday and is currently conducting a new search. Council expects to identify one or more finalists in early May. During this time, Brian McBroom continues to serve as acting city manager. We have strong confidence in his leadership and in the work happening across the organization. We remain focused on maintaining momentum, supporting our staff, and continuing to deliver high-quality services for the Greeley community. We stand at a defining moment in our city's history. As Brian mentioned, happy birthday, Greeley. This year marks Greeley's 140th birthday, which coincides with Colorado's celebrating 150 years of statehood and 250 years since our nation signed the Declaration of Independence. This once-in-a-generation milestone is an opportunity to reflect on the legacy that shaped us and to be intentional about the future we are building together. Greeley is growing, and with growth comes opportunity. But growth also demands intentional planning and practical solutions. If we want a strong, sustainable community for the long term, economic development must remain a priority. It creates jobs, supports local businesses, strengthens our tax base, and helps ensure we deliver the services our residents expect. From east to west, north and south, and everywhere in between, we must remain focused on purposeful growth, housing for all, economic vitality, and reliable services. Tonight, you're going to hear updates from city leadership on what we accomplished in 2025 and what we're heading for in 2026. As we talk through this work, I want you to know this. Our mission is simple. Every decision we make should benefit Greeley's residents. You are the center of this work. Your involvement, your ideas, and your partnerships are what make this a community, not just a city. Now I'd like to introduce you to our city leaders that will be talking with us tonight. First of all, Acting City Manager Brian McBroom. Deputy City Manager Kelly Johnson. Deputy City Manager Brett Neighbor. Police Chief Adam Turk. And Fire Chief Brian Kuznick. All right, this thing is on. Wow, that's good. As I mentioned earlier, Greeley is not just a city. It's a community, but Greeley is growing quickly. Brian, help us understand how Greeley is planning for that growth in a way that works for everyone.
Well, thank you, Mayor, for asking me that question. How much time do we have?
Keep it under an hour.
I love talking about long-range planning. I began my career as a planner. That seems like about 100 years ago, but I still have a strong passion for the important work of long-range planning. Greeley has a very long tradition of long-range planning. The city, and before that, the town, has been planning thoughtfully for growth for many, many years. In fact, I heard today from Water Board Chair Harold Evans that the town first purchased water to facilitate growth in 1870. So the city has been planning for growth for a very long time. We're at a very interesting point in the city's evolution. Greeley still very much feels like a small town, but it's growing into a very big city, one of the biggest cities in the state of Colorado. So a key challenge with long-range planning is facilitating thoughtful growth, but allowing the city to retain those qualities that make it such a great place to live, work, and raise a family. To address this need, we've shifted to a concept called sub-area planning. The city is so large and diverse now, from east to west and north to south, that we've begun breaking the city up into smaller sub-areas. It allows those long-range plans to be tailored to the unique needs of different parts of the city. It allows us to meet the unique needs of residents and property owners in each individual part of the city. Currently underway is a west sub-area plan for the areas west of 95th Avenue, and an east sub-area plan, a long-range plan for areas east of Greeley's downtown. These are intended to be complete, livable communities within the broader city of Greeley. Cars will still be necessary, but it's important to create livable communities that are walkable, that have jobs and shopping, amenities, and open space within each part of the city. We are also increasing our emphasis on planning in ways that bring about fiscal sustainability long-term. The city is going through a budget challenge right now, and it's emphasizing the need for us to think about the fiscal impacts of growth and designing growth in such a way that it assures the city has sufficient finances to provide the services and amenities that are important. The overarching goal in all of this work is to assure that long-range planning efforts are focused and driven by the community. Long-range planning must be community-driven. The community is essential to developing those plans and then holding us accountable to make sure the city stays on track to achieve the long-term visions that residents generate as part of this planning effort. So I would love to talk all night about long-range planning, but I think we have some more questions.
Thank you, Brian. Greeley is really being intentional in its decisions, and our residents will be the ones to benefit.
Greeley is growing, and good planning guides that change. When we plan for the long game, growth becomes thoughtful, balanced, and rooted in what matters most to the community. Long-range area planning doesn't always make headlines, but it shapes how neighborhoods connect, how services are delivered, and how people experience the city every day. This work lays the foundation for what's next. A Greeley that works for everyone.
As we plan for growth, one of the first things people feel is the pressure of housing. Let's turn our attention to Deputy City Manager Kelly Johnson. Kelly, help us understand what Greeley is doing to make sure people can actually live and stay in this community.
Thank you, Mayor. That's such a great question, and I'm glad that Brian led because he talked about the foundation of housing, which is really the intentionality that goes into our planning for our community, whether it's long-range or sub-area planning. That really sets a foundation. I think it's important to start by saying that at the end of the day, housing is really about stability, when people can afford to live in their community, they continue to thrive, they're able to work better, they're able to sustain their families, our businesses are stronger, and the community stays connected. So part of the city's intention is, along with the smart planning, the intentional housing plan. We've been really focused on a strategic housing plan. Council just adopted that very recently. That plan focuses on the full spectrum, everything from affordable housing to what we call the missing middle. So whether you're starting out, raising a family, or downsizing, Greeley's intentionally planning for a spectrum or a ladder of housing that will support our community. The reality is, though, it should come as no shock to all of you that housing is complicated. Housing is a topic that most communities in the country are talking about because it's so significant to what makes a community a place people want to live, work, and play in. For Greeley, we're looking at needing roughly 20,000 additional housing units over the next 20 years. That would be roughly about 1,000 homes per year just to keep up, which is a pretty tall order to achieve. But we're working through that. As a community, as a city, we're working closely with our partners, developers, nonprofits, our federal partners. We're leveraging things like HUD funding, aligning our policies to make it easier to build the right kind of housing, the spectrum of housing. And we're starting to see a lot of great progress in that. For example, our homeless solutions team helped more than 200 individuals find housing last year, and over 90% of those are still in stable housing today. We're partnering with organizations like Habitat for Humanity. Our partnership with Habitat for Humanity allows us to do things like offset permit fees to help make projects like that possible, to put families into homes. Last year, that helped 21 families move into their homes. Projects like our Starrise development are bringing 90 units of supportive housing to residents that fall somewhere in that area of making 30 to 80% of what a typical household earns in our region. That's that ladder and that spectrum of housing that we need. So bottom line, and ultimately, the intentionality that's going into Greeley's planning and development is also going into Greeley's housing opportunities. It's not just growth for the sake of growth, but making sure that people can stay here, build a life here, and that they can continue to be a part of our community.
Thank you, Kelly. Some big initiatives and projects making a big difference for Greeley. It's powerful work. Thank you.
Greeley believes that housing for all is essential to a strong community. We recognize that housing challenges affect individuals, families, employers, and the long-term vitality of our city. That's why in 2025, we continued working with community partners to expand housing opportunities and strengthen support systems for those experiencing housing instability. This work is about creating pathways to stability, building a stronger workforce, and ensuring our community remains accessible to people at every stage of life. Because when housing works, the entire community benefits.
Housing is one piece of the puzzle, but people are also seeing visible changes across the city. Kelly, again, our residents look around and see cranes, construction, and new activity. What are the big projects they're looking at?
I hope you're not missing it. It's exciting times here in our community. There's a lot happening across Greeley, and again, I'm going to just reinforce how intentional that is and the work that's going into that. A big part of the activity that you're seeing starts in downtown, which really serves as the heart of our community. Through our Civic Campus partnership with District 6 and Weld County, we're creating a connected, vibrant civic center downtown area, one that's really bringing people together and supporting downtown revitalization, which is critical to our community. But we're also investing in things like infrastructure. So our 16th Street Corridor project is strengthening mobility, the way people move in and out of our community, particularly connecting the University of Northern Colorado to our downtown area, with safer intersections, better sidewalks, and just that improved traffic flow for one of Greeley's busiest intersections and streets. There's a lot of economic development activity that's also shaping this. We're seeing healthcare expansion like Peak Form Medical Center in our community, organizations like the National Board of Chiropractic Examiners, both expanding and bringing additional business to Greeley. Behind the scenes, there's also additional work that's happening. When we talk about what we see, we don't always talk about what we don't see, but that can often be as equally important. To the mayor's credit, we're working on standing up our mayor's task force on economic development. This is not just a discussion group, but really an action-oriented body that's going to be focused on removing barriers and driving results. Very recently, the City Council approved our Economic Development Strategic Plan, which includes dozens of action items, and the charge for our task force will be to help the city prioritize those. When we prioritize nothing, we don't accomplish anything. And the goal here is to continue to see economic development thrive and continue to contribute to the vitality of our community. We're competing differently in the marketplace. When we find opportunities for businesses that are interested in coming to Greeley, we've changed policy and process inside the city. We're doing things that are making us more compatible and desirable to those agencies and entities that are interested, removing cost barriers on critical things like infrastructure. All of that to say, when the residents see what they see, the cranes, the construction, things that are in motion, it's not by chance. There's a lot of coordinated effort that's going into this. And frankly, it's part of what's strengthening our local economy and creating Greeley to be the community we've designed it to be.
Thank you. Those projects are what people see, but behind every one of them is the infrastructure that makes it all work. Deputy City Manager Brett Neighbor, can you pull back the curtain a little bit? What's happening behind the scenes to support this level of growth?
Absolutely. Thank you, Mayor Hall. There's a lot going on in Greeley. We're continuing to evaluate development opportunities in West Greeley. We recently created a new citizen oversight committee to help us with that work. Infrastructure is at the foundation of everything that we're doing, enabling housing and business growth. We can talk about roads and transportation, over 800 miles of improvements since 2018 through our Keep Greeley Moving, signal upgrades at 10th Street, reducing time spent commuting, significant work to make travel safer through our Safe Streets for All, mobility plan focused on options across all transportation types, planning and design efforts underway at the Merge project for 35th and 47th Avenue, 47th Street, I should say, 47th Avenue. We'd love to see the beautiful collaboration at 16th Street, as Kelly mentioned. We're focusing on smart capital planning, balancing growth and maintenance. Several system upgrades going on behind the scenes. We recently opened up our Greeley 311 system to better serve residents, providing one location to find information and request service. Our new website is live. It helps you find information easier with a customer experience focus. The goal is to have infrastructure that is reliable and keeps up with growth.
Thank you, Brett. I encourage our audience to check out the city's speakupgreeley.com webpage for more information on each of these projects. There is a lot happening, and staying informed can help everyone feel involved and connected.
Healthcare expanded in Greeley in 2025, and a national organization chose our city. A decision that will bring thousands of professionals here each year and generate consistent activity for local hotels, restaurants, and small businesses. In 2025, we continued investing in infrastructure that improves daily life, from safer signals to better roads, making stronger connections across the community. We are reshaping how civic spaces and development come together to serve residents and support the revitalization of our downtown. Greeley is open for business, and we're investing in it with purpose.
And while we're talking about infrastructure, water is always top of mind in Colorado. How are we making sure Greeley has water reliability now and into the future, Brett?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor Hall. The priority is to have safe, reliable, affordable water. Several improvements to talk about: our new billing portal, replacing an antiquated system, consolidating a lot of functionality, making it easier for us to manage and for you as citizens to use our systems. New water meters to provide better data and leak detection. I learned that over the weekend as I had a leak and got a notification. Greeley has a long history with water, creating supplies through continued work and development of water resources. Examples like Chimney Hollow and the Terry Ranch project, continuing the tradition of long-term planning. Several system upgrades: the lead line replacement project, significant upgrades to sewer and wastewater systems, and these projects are underway right now. The consistent theme is to plan ahead so we're being sustainable and responsible growth.
Thank you. You know, we don't always see what goes into making a robust water portfolio. Brian mentioned it earlier, but our forefathers had a plan, and we continue that legacy of providing clean and reliable water to our community.
Water is one of Greeley's most important resources. In 2025, we continued investing in the systems that protect water quality, strengthen reliability, and prepare for future growth. From new utility services to underground pipelines, this is the infrastructure you don't always see, but it supports every home, every business, and every opportunity in our city. Reliable water and sewer service is foundational to growth, economic development, and quality of life. And this year, that foundation grew even stronger.
We've talked about planning, housing, infrastructure, and utilities, but for most residents, what matters most is how all of that shows up in their daily lives. I'd like to now turn to Chief of Police Adam Turk. Chief Turk, how do all these investments translate into the services residents rely on and how we keep our community safe?
Thank you, Mayor. That's exactly right, and good evening, everyone. Our residents don't experience plans or infrastructure on paper. They experience whether they feel safe in their neighborhoods, whether help arrives quickly when they call, and whether crime is being prevented before it happens. These investments have allowed us to primarily shift from being reactive to more proactive, data-driven, and precise in how we deliver public safety services. A great example of this is our real-time information center. It's staffed by 4 civilians and a sergeant who monitor cameras and technology in real time. They're proactively watching overt and intersection cameras, tracking license plate readers, and providing live intelligence to our officers in the field. This means when a call comes in, our officers aren't just responding, they're arriving with vital information which improves both response times and outcomes. One of the most exciting advancements is our Drone as First Responder program. We currently have 4 docked drones positioned strategically on 4 of our fire stations, spread out throughout the city, where we have the highest concentration of our 911 calls. This program just launched 3 weeks ago, and we're already seeing strong results, helping us with suspect apprehensions, recovering stolen vehicles, and assisting in locating missing persons and runaways. In many cases, these drones are arriving on scene before our officers, giving us critical situational awareness and improving safety for everyone involved. All of this, combined with the hard work of our personnel, is providing real results. In 2025, we saw a 27% reduction in our Part 1 violent crimes and an 18% reduction in our Part 1 property crimes, for an overall reduction of 20%. The biggest decreases were in aggravated assault, robbery, burglary, and motor vehicle theft. Motor vehicle theft is a terrific example of focused strategic policing. We went from 1,288 motor vehicle thefts in 2023 to 900 in 2024 to 375 last year in 2025. That's a dramatic improvement, and it reflects targeted enforcement and a strong focus on our repeat offenders. But none of this happens without our amazing men and women of the Greeley Police Department. They are our human capital. Our officers, detectives, and our professional staff have done incredible work staying focused on repeat offenders and the drivers of crime in our community. At the end of the day, these investments mean faster response times, better information for our officers, crimes being prevented, and safer neighborhoods. That's what our residents expect, and that's what we're delivering. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Chief. Now turning to Greeley's Fire Chief, Brian Kuznick, I'll ask you the same question. How do these investments translate into services that keep residents safe? And when we talk about community risk reduction, what does that look like on the ground to an average resident?
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for those two questions, and good evening, everybody. I want to first start by expressing how fortunate I feel to lead a fire department that is so well supported in this community. That support has led to some very strategic investments that we've been able to make in our people, in our equipment, in our facilities. And it's those investments that translate to a quicker, a faster, and more efficient response for our citizens. There's two key investments that I'd like to highlight tonight. First, we were able to purchase two brand new Pierce 107-foot ladder trucks in 2025. This $3 million, thank you. This roughly $3 million investment replaces outdated fire trucks. It improves our operational reliability, and it's going to make sure we can provide a high level of service for years to come. We also secured over $820,000 in federal grant funding to replace our outdated self-contained breathing apparatus. This equipment is critical, life-saving equipment for our firefighters, and that grant helps ease the burden on our taxpayers. And it's these types of investments that ensure our crews can operate safely and effectively when it matters most. It's important to note that our work goes beyond emergency response, and that ties into your second question, Mayor, about community risk reduction. For the fire department, community risk reduction is about creating a safer, more resilient community by proactively working to prevent the emergencies before they happen. In 2025, our Fire Prevention Bureau conducted over 2,400 fire inspections in local businesses, helping reduce fire and life safety hazards in the community. They also partnered with the American Red Cross and about 40 volunteers and installed more than 230 smoke alarms in a single day. This important initiative is about having working smoke alarms to reduce or enhance the chances of surviving a house fire. We also connected with more than 18,000 residents through our annual open house, a variety of school visits, and free monthly CPR and Stop the Bleed classes. It's these types of activities that allow us to equip our community with life-saving skills before our first responders arrive. Another important initiative I want to touch on is the integration of the Pulse Point application. In partnership with the Weld County Regional Communications Center, this app, which can be downloaded to any mobile device, alerts nearby citizens when someone is experiencing a cardiac arrest in a public place. This early notification enables trained bystanders to begin CPR immediately, and by doing so, it increases their chances of survival. Behind the scenes, our Office of Emergency Management continues to strengthen preparedness for major emergency incidents and large-scale events like the Greeley Stampede. But despite our proactive work, we know emergencies are going to happen. In 2025, the Greeley Fire Department answered more than 17,000 calls, and I'm proud to share that we maintain an average total response time of 7 minutes and 30 seconds. And Mayor, I'm proud to share with this community that we have a professional and highly capable fire department that everybody should be proud of.
For sure. Thank you, Chief Turk and Chief Kuznick. Public safety is always top of mind, and in Greeley, our staff are top-notch and prepared.
In 2025, Greeley strengthened public safety across the board. Our police, fire, canine, and emergency management teams embraced new strategies, strengthened coordination, and enhanced the tools that protect our community in real time. This work makes a difference when seconds matter most. From proactive prevention to rapid response, our first responders are prepared, equipped, and committed. And this year, that commitment reached a new level.
And beyond core services, communities are increasingly defined by the quality of life they offer. Kelly, can you talk about how investments in parks, programs, and community experiences contribute to Greeley's vitality and make it a place people want to call home?
Certainly. I think this is an area that's super important to our community. It's one of the 7 pillars of our strategic plan, quality of life. This really is what defines a community. Quality of life isn't just the nice to have things, it's the foundation of what makes someone want to stay here and call Greeley home. It's where and how families gather, where kids build confidence, where neighbors connect, and that plays a big role in why people want to live here in Greeley. I have to say that a lot of that work that supports quality of life happens through our Culture, Parks, and Recreation Department. So a big shout out to them for the things that they do that are super visible to all of us, but they put in lots of time and effort to make that visible to us, to give us the quality of life that we've all become accustomed to here in Greeley. We see their efforts every day in experiences that they create for our community across our parks, our trails, our natural areas, our arts and cultural venues and spaces. The services that they provide and their daily interactions are some of the most visible contributions to quality of life here in Greeley. We're intentional, yeah, we can celebrate that. As a city and as a department, we're intentional about making those opportunities accessible. This means removing barriers, whether those are cost barriers, transportation, or access, so that we have opportunities for all our residents. We're seeing the impact. This is the good stuff. Last year, we served more than 11,000 youth through our programs, with hundreds more supported through our assistance funding and our teen employment opportunities. That's an impact on quality of life. And we're not stopping there. We're continuing to expand. Last year, through a $1.75 million grant from Great Outdoors Colorado, we increased opportunities for families in East Greeley to have additional experiences for quality of life. Through another opportunity with Generation Wild, we partnered with more than 20 organizations, including the University of Northern Colorado, to help kids build a lifelong connection to nature. From park improvements across the city's 40-plus parks to restoring work along the Poudre River Trail, you can see the impact. You can see quality of life. At the end of the day, quality of life is about connection, health, community pride, fostering that social connection. It's what's shaping everyday experiences, and it's a big part of what makes Greeley not just the place that people live, but a place that they choose to call home.
Thank you, Kelly. And one more thing. What's also important to note is the incredible draw that our facilities and events have in attracting people to our city. Share a bit more about that if you can.
Happy to. These are things I could talk about all day. So if you find yourself wandering in the hallway afterwards, happy to connect more. This is an area that Greeley really stands out. That's not just a bragging point. We actually have survey data that says these are things that Greeley residents have a lot of pride in. Our spaces and events, they aren't just serving Greeley residents. They create energy across the city, and they draw people from all over the region. You can see that in places like Lincoln Park, where our farmers market is thriving and bringing more people into downtown. Or events like our Arts Picnic, which brought in around 10,000 people and really showcases Greeley's creativity. Beyond the events that we host, the things that we put out, our facilities themselves are a draw. The Union Colony Civic Center is a jewel. They brought in more than 50,000 attendees into downtown last year. And our very own Island Grove Regional Park serves as a space unique to itself. They hosted nearly 600 events with 750,000 visitors coming to our community. We're also continuing to invest in experiences that bring in new users. Things like our new short course, which was supported by the Michael Ray Lee Foundation, creating opportunities for our youngest golfers. Our Highland Hills golf course continues to gain recognition as one of the top public courses in the region. We are consistently partnering with other agencies and entities in the community to expand Greeley's draw regionally, across the state, and beyond. And it's these spaces and the experiences, the things that people get to enjoy when they come visit us, that are most important and that continue to place Greeley as one of the communities that people want to be a part of. This is what brings our people together. Again, these are events and things that are supporting many of our small businesses, our downtown community, our businesses from east to west, north to south. It's a continuing evolution of what creates the vibrancy that is Greeley.
Thank you, Kelly, and thank you to all our panelists and to the many staff members who made tonight possible. Thank you to our audience for listening. I think this was a great discussion, and don't go anywhere, we're not quite done.
Infrastructure builds a city, but the quality of life defines it. In 2025, we invested in the parks, programs, and public spaces that enhance how people live in and experience our city. From expanding outdoor access to strengthening recreation opportunities, we are enhancing major community venues. This work supports activity, connection, and local vitality. These are the places where memories are made, traditions grow, and community takes shape. And that's the impact of culture, parks, and recreation.
I want to say thank you to our city leaders and to many staff members who made tonight's possible. When we give your time and when you give your time and energy to providing input, you help shape the decisions that define our city's future. This kind of participation does more than inform decisions. It builds trust, strengthens two-way dialogue, and helps us move together. Throughout 2025, our boards and commissions delivered measurable results that truly benefited our community. For instance, the Citizens Budget Advisory Committee played a pivotal role by thoroughly evaluating proposed tax measures and significant debt decisions, ensuring the city's finances remain strong and responsible. Meanwhile, the Stormwater Advisory Board spearheaded essential initiatives such as the $3.5 million stormwater rehabilitation projects and the 12th Street outfall improvements. These efforts have been instrumental in reducing flooding risks and safeguarding property, reflecting the dedication and impact of our advisory boards. Our Youth Commission led literacy and mental health initiatives and organized the second NOCO Youth Leadership Conference, giving young people a chance to lead locally and think globally. Civic engagement happens in every conversation and interaction, whether at coffee chats, community meetings, or during project outreach. The 16th Street enhancements began with 3 years of resident input. Delta Park was shaped through conversations with immigrant and refugee communities that live near the park. Our lead protection program team knocked on doors to answer questions and guide residents through every step of that process. Your input doesn't just improve projects, it builds the trust we need to move forward together. This year carries special meaning as Greeley's 140th birthday. For 140 years, this community has adapted, invested, and worked together to build something strong. Generations before us built the roads, water systems, schools, businesses, and neighborhoods we rely on today. They made decisions not just for their time, but for ours. And now it's our turn. 140 years from now, residents will look at this moment. The question will not be whether Greeley grew, it will be whether we led that growth with foresight and care. That is the responsibility we carry. Thank you for caring about our community, and thank you for the privilege of serving you. I encourage you to visit the tables in the lobby to continue the conversation and speak directly with staff. But first, help me celebrate Greeley's 140th anniversary by singing Happy Birthday with me, accompanied by the Greeley West Chamber Orchestra, directed by Tom Nugent.
Good evening. My name is Tom Nugent. I'm the proud orchestra director at Greeley West High School, and it's a privilege and honor to be here this evening. I'd like to thank Mayor Hall, City Council, and the City of Greeley for inviting us and an opportunity to showcase these students and the hard work that they do each and every day in and out of the classroom over at Greeley West High School. We'll be performing a few selections for you this evening. Please enjoy. We're going to start with a cinematic tune, the Captain America March. Next piece is a piece by the composer John Sibelius, who wrote this piece on Dante Festivo out of pride for his native land where he lived, the beauty of it, and how he was taken back by it. Very appropriate for this setting and just the pride that we all have living in this beautiful area. This is on Dante Festivo. like to thank everybody again for inviting us out this evening. Our final piece will be Themes from the New World Symphony, and I am going to make a plug. If anybody would like to hear more music from this group or any more of our ensembles, we do have our Greeley West Performing Arts Gala tomorrow evening in our brand new space over at Greeley West High School, and if you haven't had a chance to be over there, we take a lot of pride in it and are glad to be able to make music and art in that space, as well as this beautiful space. This is Themes from the New World Symphony by Antonin Dvorak.
Thank you, Greeley, for attending the 2026 State of the City Address.